What up, y'all? I'm gonna talk a little about the end of that Celtics and Heat. So Miami will be going to the finals, but that's kind of not surprising. No team has ever still come back from a 3-0 lead to win, or 3-0 down to win. But the surprising part that I don't really understand is why analysts are so obsessed about blowing up the Celtics. Like, I don't really think they should be blowing up the main two. I think they should keep Jalen and Tatum together. Having them leave really, it doesn't do anything for them. Like, I hear some people will say they need a playmaker. Well, then go try to find a playmaker. Use some of your assets that you have to go get them. But getting rid of Jalen and Jason, I just don't really believe that it's a good idea. They've gotten to the finals and Eastern Conference the last 3 years in a row. So they're winning, and they're winning a lot. So blowing it up just for the sake of blowing it up, that's insanity to me, especially since they've had a bunch of different coaches. Like even the whole Ime deal. I understand why they got rid of him, but realistically, they would have been better off just having him on a half-year suspension or something and try to have it work out somehow, even though with what he did was questionable when it comes to things in there. But he was a good coach for him. So I think they kind of screwed up with that. And if they do decide to get off of Tatum or Brown, I don't think they'll be competitive going forward over the long term. I think they will start to fall off because with the NBA, you need talent. No matter what, you need talent. Or at least some kind of stable coaching and stable organizational side of things. And if anything, Boston, they aren't stable. They're firing coaches left and right, like as if it's not going out of style. And now they're talking about firing Missoula too. That's like, you can't have a team ever get organized and play within a rhythm if they're always losing their leaders and implementing something new over and over and over again. It's like the definition of insanity, trying to do the same thing and expect a different result. It's just not going to happen. Like, why do you think Miami is so good? They've been running Eric Spoelstra now for a long time. Pat Riley knows how to find diamonds in the rough and has pretty much given authority to Spoelstra that it's his. This is his team. The teams that are doing really well have organizations that are starting to draft well and develop well, and the coach is not being fired every year. Like this year, for example, all these coaches being fired, that almost needs its own little video, because some of them, I don't think were really good decisions. But I might make a video on that and what I think of the coaches that got fired, and then possibly the coaches that got rehired into those positions. But for the time being, we'll still keep talking on the Boston and Miami. So the reason why I don't think they should get rid of the Boston head coach and really not blow up the team is because they were 3-0 down and they came back. Yes, they got smacked in the last game, but if you're a prisoner of the moment, you're always going to be a losing team. And this is coming from a Kings fan, where I'm accustomed to watching them fucking lose year after year after year. It was nice actually watching them compete and be a good team. And it looks like they can have a good future going forward because of their style of play now. But ultimately, I think they should keep Tatum and Brown. If they're going to trade anyone and kind of shake it up a little, I would say maybe try to maybe do like a Marcus Smart, Al Horford package deal for some kind of a playmaker, or pick up something along the lines. If you're going to trade away Brown, you need to pick up someone of his caliber or better that's available. And the chances are that that's going to be the case. I don't think so. I don't think that there's going to be someone that can replace Brown that's going to be on par, that's going to be worth the time. And they're talking about set maximum salary. Personally, with how Tatum's been playing over the playoffs, I wouldn't give him a super max. Same with Brown. If anything, I would go the Celtics pitch. Hey, we've been getting to the finals, but you guys do need the help. So I would be trying to probably push to get him to sign for a little bit less than the max on both of them. And if they really want to compete for titles and they want to stay in Boston, I think they might. But given the fact that Boston has had Jaylen Brown in trade offers over and over and over and over again, he might just decide to leave. And then they'll wind up with nothing. So I can get the trade, but if he did leave, that would be on Boston and Boston alone, because they kind of shaped it up and made that happen. Because they never were in support of Brown. So I could understand it for the trades and all that, but I think if they did do it and they lost Brown, I think they would fall backwards. And the reason why Miami is so good is because they have stability, they have leadership, structure, and they don't need to be a 1 seed to be able to be competitive. They just do. Jimmy shows up in the playoffs all the time. And quite frankly, I'm happy for him. It's nice to actually see two teams now in the finals that were built from the ground up. They weren't just bought teams. They weren't super teams that were all put together in its off season. Like Denver was getting trashed even though they were the best team. They're like, it's just regular. They're in the finals and people aren't even talking about them. They're like MIA, like they don't exist. Miami, they're talking about they're overachievers. They don't really deserve to be there, really. But they were in the finals 2 years ago. And they were competing last year because they were the number 1 seed. So ultimately, are they overachievers? Or do they achieve actually to the level of what they are? And realistically, I think they achieve to the level of what they are. I don't think that they've overachieved. I think they're actually achieving on the level they are as a team and a unit, because they know how to build and they have had chemistry together now for years. And I think they'd have even been better had they had Tyler Hero playing. He's been hurt. So I think the people need to just kind of stop underrating Miami, and they also need to get kind of better at going at the idea of, oh, we lost, so we need to blow it up. Oh, we lost, we need to blow it up. We need to blow it up. We're the Lakers. We're the Lakers. We're the Lakers. Like, no. You don't need to blow a team up every year when it fails. If you do that, you're always going to fail. But ultimately, I want to say good job to Miami and a good job to Denver, because both teams are bums compared to what analysts talk about on them. And hey, they proved everybody wrong. And that's always nice to see. But I think this one is going to be a good season, and I think, or a good finals, because I think they match up well. One's defense, one's offense, and they both got some stars, and they both got quality bench and talent to go off the bench. So I'm gonna probably say Denver in 6. But I could easily see this game go 7 and be competitive, because I think both teams will keep up with each other. But congrats to Denver and congrats to Miami. And Boston, I would not blow up your 2 stars. I just would not. Not unless you want to go back to being what you were a few years ago, where you were scraping at the bottom of the barrel like my team was. But, hey, you do you. Later.